Everybody, this is Roxanne Lee. Many of you know me. I decided that I needed to have more FaceTime with you guys. And being that you supported me for the last 5 or 6 years, as my husband and I have been on the mission field, I thought everybody else is videotaping themselves saying really wise things, so why not me, right? So maybe every month I'll have a couple of videos for you, include them in the newsletter, and if you feel like clicking on them, you can, to see how much gray hair I get month to month, or how much my chin grows. Anyway, ooh, that's a cool effect. Well, right now I am in my car waiting for my son. He is at coding club, and I'm in Florida. Maybe some of you don't know, why am I in Florida? I'm a missionary in Mongolia, right? Well, my family and I came to Florida, Orlando, to have the kids tested and to have a debrief of what we experienced in our 5 years as missionaries in Mongolia. And during that process, they tested the children and found out that they need some extra academic attention. So we put them in a public school here in Jacksonville because that's where my husband's sister is. And also, they said they have the best schools in the country. I don't know. Anyway, they're doing very well, and we're about probably 3/4 of the way through. And I thought, oh, you know what? I need to see my people. I need you guys to see me. Like, what are these people doing? You know, I'm still sending them money, and they're in Florida, and I'm not really clear as to what's going on. So I thought, hey, I'll explain it to you. Anyway, so I am right now sitting in this car, and that's what I want to talk to you about today, is God's goodness in providing for us. This car was given to us by a really awesome friend. We were close to him when we lived in Cleveland, but we hadn't talked to him for 15 years. And after we found out that we have to stay in Florida, all we had to drive was an RV that a church so graciously gave us. And you know who you are, guys. So thank you so much. And God miraculously provided for that. I have been praying for that for like 2 years, that we could have a way to travel around the country and visit our supporters and still like stay cohesive as a family. And God gave us to that with the RV, but then we ended up having to stay, and we were going to have to drive the RV to the store, to school, and everything. And I was like, all right, it's fine. I don't care. Anything for you, Lord, you know, or anything to stay out of debt. But anyway, somebody called us, this friend of ours from Cleveland, and was like, hey, I'm buying a new car. Do you want my old one? And we were like, yes. So my husband drove up to Erie, Pennsylvania, and got it, and brought home an adopted dog from a shelter up in Ohio, which was a really big blessing. But this all goes back to today's theme, which is generosity. And Proverbs says, a generous person will prosper, and he who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. And I thought about that, and I looked up a couple other translations, and it actually says, he who waters others will himself be watered. And that is really, really true. Sometimes Jay tells this story about how in hell and heaven, they'll both be a place where there's plenty of food, but in hell, people will have these, they won't be able to bend their arms, so they won't be able to feed themselves, and so they'll feel like tortured because they can't get the food to their mouth. And of course my kids try to find a workaround, and they're like, oh yeah, I'd throw it up in the air and then catch it with my mouth. But no. Anyway, it's a metaphor. So, but anyway, in heaven, same thing. You can't bend your arms, but everybody's feeding each other. And I think that that is a really cool analogy, that when we share and when we are generous towards one another, we ourselves are refreshed. And that's what God's kingdom is about, helping each other. And you guys have helped me so much, me and my family, go as missionaries. You've given sacrificially, and I hope that someday I can water you back. But for now, we're trying to water, our kids so that we can get back on the mission field. And when we're there, we are watering the Mongolians so that the Mongolians can go out and be missionaries too someday and water others. So I kind of think of it like, the breaking of the bread. That Jesus broke the bread, and then gave it out, and then more and more people broke it, and more bread showed up. And when we share our testimony, when we share the gifts that God has given us, it just keeps multiplying. So that's my little thing for today. When we leave this country and go back to Mongolia, we have our tickets for August 23rd. Then we'll pass this car on to someone else, and I know God will use it to bless someone else, and He'll provide for us when we go back to Mongolia and we don't have a car anymore. He's always good. We trust Him. We step forward in that. So hope that encourages you today, and I'll talk to you next time I get inspired.